great candidates for this particular, the Galliano enclosure, but let's see. But other places in the tune and other ways. So ornamenting your thing. Some more things to do with the melody, which probably would not be the best to do in a real gypsy jazz like jam session, but would be to add like counter melodies. So to take those long held notes and add a fill to them. So this is really a more of an advice for if you're going to do this as a solo tune. The first time, I would say leave the space so people learn the melody clearly and cleanly, and you have room to build up and to build more and to make more interest and more energy and to get busier. You've heard now what this melody sounds like. There you go. There. So I'm sustaining in my pinky this note. And I chose that because the chords are going from a C major to a C minor. And that's the important note that changes. So I may as well. Right? Whatever, that was just a straight up fill. But this idea of creating polyphony means many melodies or multiple melodies, poly. But under your right hand can be very, very pretty to do. Of course, you can harmonize it. There, see, I chose a weird harmony that you might not expect. You thought I was going to play a block chord. Let's see. I don't have the right note. There. What can we do? It's good. It's like mixing modes. That really... So having wide harmonies or close harmonies. Let's see. That sounds really weird. Sounds very not of like kind of 40s jazz standard sound. It's cool, just out of character. So you need to, in my opinion, here's my advice, since these two segments are like showing and teaching and telling and advice and all that sort of thing. First of all, familiarize yourself with the melody. And then it's good to like have a way that you can do the melody. So to work it out. So use this as a creative, a creation experience. So I'm going to create a version of the melody that I can play over a backing track or with other Django musicians or solo or whatever. So if I'm playing solo, what's the thing to keep in mind a lot of the time, let's see. If I'm playing solo, I want to be thinking about like putting counter melodies and filling up space and all that sort of thing and creating an elaborate arrangement. If I'm playing not solo, which is what Django in June is and what sort of Django Reinhardt did with his ensemble, the quintet and all that sort of stuff, you have a bunch of great players with you and they want to play. And so one of the things is in a melody like this, it has space in it. So let another musician take the space, you know? So if I'm playing with other musicians and I look around, usually I'll kind of figure out who are the players who want to do the fills, you know, the newer players don't or whatever, other players do. So if you have your eyes open, if you have the music memorized. You, somebody fill, and then get out of my way. And then you end your note, somebody boom. And it is okay. You don't want to give away too much because then you become like you're featuring the filling person. But so don't give away too much, and you do want to get like virtuosic and make sure that you feel like the star of this moment, but share it with other people in a jam session. It's so fun. Okay, let me play through the B section. So this, in both cases, this has the highest note of the song. It has the most sort of anguish to my ears. I don't know what the lyrics are about, but it feels like not a super happy song. I remember Barry saying, with you, it would be so nice, I think, is what he told me, the definition, translation of this title. Yeah. And then we got to get back to C major, so something like that to get us back. So sustained, supported with a lot of feeling, but don't make it like you don't want to sound like a high school trumpet player in marching band on these long notes. You have to find subtlety and gentleness and create tension and come out, find the romance of what you're playing. Alrighty, that's what I would say for the melody on this one. For the chords and accompaniment, in a Django-Style, you're going to have other musicians. Guitarists you will have, who are going chunk, 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 chunk. So comping under the melody. Ba-bum, ba-do-do-do-dum-dum, ba-do-ding-dum-da-dum-bo-dum, dum-dum, dum. So I feel like because this melody hits on the ands, 1, 2, 3, 4 and, I would probably, as a person accompanying, 4 and 1, 2 and, like really kind of stay away from the downbeats that the player is playing. Watch for when they're going to continue to develop that melody. And all right, I'm starting to get into improvisation ideas. So block chords, open chords, all sorts of things. On ballads, I would do really cool little like you know, these kind of really nice open things are really nice to create different kinds of textures and make sure that it has life and breathe. Of course, in an ensemble setting, not playing is a great idea also, to make sure that it has space and breathes and isn't just like this, I'm playing because I want to play and I have to play, you know, like we should be thinking about making a thing that has to do with deliberately asking ourselves, should I play now or not? Chord shapes, I might use rootless voicings, definitely trying to keep my ears open, knowing what the melody is. Right hand chord shapes. So that's a rootless C major 7. There's the C, but I'm not playing it in my right hand. It's a close position chord. You could play like this or like this or like this. Those are all the inversions of it. Maybe a C minor 7 or maybe a C6, minor 6. This needs a 9. Diminished. A minor 7. So if I play it right correctly in the left hand, we get the 9 in there. Ba-do ba bum bum bo bum ba-do de bi dum ba bi bo do dum. Okay, so there I decided to include that natural 9, a C sharp, which gives a lot of color. So we have a B minor 7 flat 5. Sorry. And that's the root third, fifth, 7 in that chord. The 9 is here, C sharp, which is a beautiful color that we didn't have. What do I want to... There you go. And I kept that line going. So ba-dee-da, I had that on the B, then on the, and we're on the A minor now. So I was inside my root. And then you're at the thing. So the melody. So see how in the accompaniment, I do the same sort of thing of building, and then at the actual resolution, you come back. I think that this is a fairly universal technique that is definitely what you might say next level. Like it's more sophisticated. It takes more control over your instrument, and it's a more sophisticated musician thing to do. In order to be thinking about this stuff, you have to be sort of pretty locked into the chords and not worried about, not struggling, I would say. You've got the chords on lockdown, but just to show another thing to work towards, just the expression of the accompaniment, which accompaniment is a beautiful pursuit, and it is not easy. It's a wonderful thing that unites you to other musicians and to yourself. You're always